härrasid on rohkem kaastega. Täna siis Ableton 10, väike ülevaade. Meil on siis sertifitseeritud Abletoni treener, koolitaja, kes on siia siis kohale tulnud, mõned seadmed siin üles seadnud ja näitab meile siis, mis on uus, mis on põnev. Järgmine nädal peaks tulema see versioon vist nüüd kõigile saadavale ka. Dmitry, please. And Rick Feds. Rick Feds will näitab hiljem meile eesti keeles siis näputrumme või inglise keeles siis finger drummer, samamoodi Abletoni ja Pushi koostöös. Dmitry näitab meile rohkem tehnilist poolt, kuidas mis uuendused ja mis on põnev ja uus. Palun, please.
I will make a look as I understood what you just told. Smile.
You have to.
Thank you, but I'm sure nothing wrong was said, so thank you. Hi guys, it's awesome to get so much interest for that event. As I understand, most of you are Ableton users at the moment, right? Like somehow, some sort of experience. And while I will tell you about new features we have in life, of course I will consider that you know what it is. Also, it might be confusing now, as I have Ableton open here, and it should be shown on the screen soon, right? It might be confusing as I have 10th version opened. Nothing is very different from version 9. It looks kind of similar. Some small differences might be noticed, but let me assure you that it's not like that. Because let me show you infograph. Actually, that's a list of improvements they did for us last couple of years. And the list is impressive. It's all about small changes and improvements, which mostly are user requests. Of course, not everything is done. Human resources always limited, and they try to figure out priorities and make such improvements. So upgrade to 10th version is about them, all about long requested things which all of us needs there to be for a long time. And that's why I'm here, because someone needs to show you, to tell you what they are and how to integrate in your existing workflow. Of course, we'll have a fun part today. Rick will perform for you. We'll try to show how it works when we are in the studio. Not all details, of course, but general idea of how you can generate your idea and why it's fun and awesome to use Ableton Live. Yes, so let's dive in. First of all, we have redesigned browser. And now we have such element called as collections. We have 7 colors. We can use those colors to tag our libraries, presets, Max for Live devices, and so on. It works like this. You just select whatever on your library, right-click, and you can put a color tag. You can put several color tags to the same preset or sample or folder to recall them instantly, even from push. It's integrated to the push, and now you can get quickly all elements you need to be close while you perform or improvise. Another element in browser which is important and significant is packs. And now we have packs synchronized with your user account. I cannot retrieve list here because I have no internet connection for now. But as you have your Ableton account and you have license for Ableton 10, then you will get there on the screen, and the screen is not showing again, sorry. So here in this part you will get all packs you have attached to your user account, and you can figure out what are installed and whatnot, and you can grab them online and you can install them while you're working on your project. It's a pretty important improvement because often people not even aware that they have packs in live. And packs is everything. It's a huge amount of instruments which are bundled with live suite. It's actually why live suits cost twice as much as a regular version. And we have all necessary there, different synthesizers, Maxwell Live devices, bundled, created by professionals. We have orchestral kits, drum kits, and everything sounds good. And people even frequently are not aware that actually Ableton creates crazy good instruments, which might be compared to their competitors sometimes. So that's the part of the browser, and I think that next thing to mention, important to mention, is that we have all the new devices. And the first device I would like to speak with you is Wavetable. So in instruments we have Wavetable now, which is a pretty trendy thing nowadays. Come on, Wavetable synthesizer. We have a lot of alternative solutions. Actually, we are big fans of Serum and sometimes of Reactor, but now we have simple and fancy device integrated in live. And I think that it's not fair to compare it with standalone synthesizers like Serum, because in Ableton all devices should be considered as construction blocks, like elements of construction kit. So I find Wavetable a bit different because they created limited amount of wavetables. We have two oscillators here. It's pretty straightforward, which is awesome and important to make things easy to understand. So we have two wavetable oscillators, a number of modulators, which might be extended by using Maxwell devices, by the way. So 3 envelopes, 2 LFOs, and the matrix when we can organize our modulators and our controllers. We have also filter section. Synthesizer is polyphonic, and each voice can be contains of 8 parallel voices which might be detuned. And Wavetable also has fancy feature of detuning things in different styles. So it has different detunes. I will demonstrate it shortly. For now, do we have sound here? So the idea is that we can modulate that wavetable. This way we can enable 2 oscillators. And the banks of those wavetables, let me pick, say, format stuff. So everyone knows that wavetable synthesizers are used to create kind of growly stuff, future bass sounds, dubstep sounds, of course, in techno and house music used widely. Later on, I will, in a couple of minutes, maybe 10 or 15 minutes, I will create a short sketch and you will see what we can do with it. But for now, let me just ask Rick to play some sounds, and I will switch several presets to get a general idea. So it makes the idea of what type of sounds we can create with it. And let me go forward and show you what other devices we have here. So I will roll back with table. And next, what we have is our audio effects. We have a whole new line of audio effects created for mixing in live. And one of the most awesome and important is so-called echo. Again, longly requested. Usually we had to search solutions in Maxwell Live devices or third-party plugins. It's a fancy and simple delay device, which is created to combine digital and analog approaches. Again, I will go fast forward to list all those devices, and then I'll try to include them in sketch creation. Next device is called drum bus. You can think of drum bus as about dynamic saturation for your percussive sounds and for your drums. So it creates two types of distortion actually. For transient itself, dynamically, works like kind of analog compressor, but in different manner. And also it creates a boomy sustain for your kick drum, for your low-end percussion. Another device is pedal. It's pretty simple, but Ableton always needed something like that because, again, if it's construction kit, then one of the details was missing. It's a pedal, so it's like a distortion, really simple, but pretty colorful, and we have different option of using that pedal. It's like distortion device, pedal. And the last thing which is available among those effects is utility. Who uses utility in his regular life with Ableton? It's important to know that utility exists. And now we can just mix to mana with one click. It was a headache sometimes to get our stereo tricks mixed in mana. Now we can do that easily here. Also, we can divide our low end and select how it is divided. Like we have that filter frequency here, yeah. Also, utility now allows us to reduce volume to -infinity, which wasn't available and it was like unlogical somehow. So that's another improvement we have here. And now, one of the most significant things, we have Maxwell Live fully integrated in Live. Only this fact is worth for upgrade up to me. Because who remembers how it was in Live 10, 8, when you deal with Maxwell Live devices? Who had issues with that? Loading devices in Ableton, trying to use them. Nobody? Everything works perfect all the time. Okay, so now we have Maxwell Live devices loaded in Live just by drag and drop, and it actually, the workflow is as you add something native. Why is it awesome? The idea is that, so let me open core library, say, now we have Maxwell Live devices added to the core library, then I have instruments, instrument rack, max instrument, and this fancy drum rack with synthesized devices. It's actually also included. We can consider that as Ableton new device. Those modules of drums, synthesized drums, it's not a sample, it's actually a synthesizer. Analog flavored synth, which is fully bundled inside. You don't need to download it separately. But what Maxwell Live gives to you is limitless opportunities of using our other people's ideas of improving the software itself and doing that by yourself, even adjusting their work sometimes. And I have, in my user library, I have the whole amount of different Max for Live devices which I use regularly, I must say. Let's say that thing, which is keyboard, while we're studying music theory, and I want to tell what the chord was played just a couple of seconds ago, I go with that. And it's called HarmoChord, and it's freeware. It's available for free, which makes sense all the time. You have full internet of Max for Live devices created by other people. You have packs from Ableton with Max for Live devices. Let's say convolution, Max for Live essentials, different things. Yeah, that's pretty limitless. And now it really feels like part of Ableton. Like, we just saw how it was. I just drag, drop, and it works. And in core library, we have the whole amount of such devices. Say media effects, Max for Live. We have note echo, expression control, envelope, LFO, which might be used with other native effects and instruments enabled. Say I have synthesizer, I have that parameter, I want to modulate it with LFO. I just grab LFO from Max for Live devices, put it here, just map things between them, and it works. So now it's easy and it feels like a breeze. For me, it's like one of the most important things. I would like to emphasize that. Yeah, so do we have questions so far? Maybe it's time to speak with you guys. Because I try to list those things which we have new, like new devices, but now we'll speak about features and workflow improvements which we have. Okay? I can go forward. Say I want to create a short sketch, and I have, of course, I have clip prepared, but when I drag a clip from library, it also creates a drum rack with all instruments and effects. I prepared that at home a couple of days ago, and we have this. I just played it. If I want to get what I just played, now in Ableton I can press record and new. I mean, on my push I can press record and new, and Ableton understands, figures out BPM, what was used in my mind, and captures that clip which was played. If I don't have push, on Ableton's interface now it's represented as this button, which is called capture. And actually it works with everything. Melodies, your samples, all the riffs or rhythmical parts you just played. It's a great opportunity for looping, because I don't need to figure out, I hope everyone understands how it works. Just came in, you got a cool sample, or you have a couple of riffs on your keyboard, you start to play, and then usually you have to stop. You have to figure out what was the click, what was the tempo. You count in or you can tap, and you lose that flow. You have to start from the beginning to catch the feeling. Now it's gone. We can just use capture, and I found that I started to use it all the time. Couple of months, last couple of months, it's like it's worth it. So after we created a loop, let me put it on my arrangement. We like to continue, of course, right? So let's remove all this stuff, and I have that clip. Now, if I want to zoom in quickly, usually in Ableton, I do this. Control L or Command L, so I loop the part. And then, if I want to zoom in quickly, now all I need to do is just press Z on my computer keyboard. If I press Shift that, then I will see all the stuff like all clips, all tracks, it was also an issue. Sometimes you have to zoom out, zoom in. Yeah, there was a question? Oh. So yes, Z. Now I can see that clip. I can edit it, of course, but let's go forward and let's create 808 baseline. We have fancy wavetable now for it. Let's deal with the wavetable. Why not? If I want to get my 808s, first thing I would like to care about is, say, 2 bars. So now we can create clips just by clicking in the arrangement view, double clicking on a track. If I want to join them, Control J, have the whole new one. Hold Shift, select 2 clips. And finally, in live, we can multiple clip view. So as you see, I can see what's happening on the background. Let me pick up my kick drum and just select the note, Control C. So it's in the buffer now. Let's move to another clip. And now I can paste it. Say I want it on D note. I want us to work in D minor, probably. If I want to enlarge those, though I need to click on the clip I need. And after that, they will go legato. So we have this sub. Let me adjust tempo for now, 140. What's next? So let's go to my wavetable synthesizer and add some harmonics, because it's not like an 808 for now. It's like just a regular sine wave. I'm creating this decreasing character. There are different ways to do that. I'm doing this. We can use something else later on. Let's add harmonics. Just movement by the wavetable, adding some sub oscillators, adding second one. What about detune? I just made that synth monophonic. No chord available, but let's detune it. Let's take classic mode. It's more like for drum and bass stuff, right? Amount of voices, detune. What about sound level? Can you hear it, right? In order to make 808, though, I will remove that polyphonic opportunity now. I want to keep kind of hip-hop flavor, and that's why I will leave like sinusoidal type of that sub. But what I want to do, I want to map my pitch to envelope number 2. What I'm doing, I'm just using matrix. Matrix here is available as the way to map modulators to chosen parameters. If I move something, say wavetable position here, it's available in matrix instantly, and I can select what will modulate it. But for now, what I need is just a pitch, and pitch was available here, envelope 2, and let's go. Next step will be adding sidechain, so let me skip that part. What I'm going to do, I'm going to basslines, taking drumline, clip. It actually consists of similar sound, a little bit different harmonically, because I actually used one oscillator here, but it's like more distorted because of more complicated wavetable. But it actually stays on it's not using wavetable position now, it stays fixed. But yeah, it works fine. Here it also pitches down, and I would like to sidechain, and sidechain is enabled, but it's not selected what is a sidechain signal, so let me select it. And it plays now, and I have kick here. Let's do that. Next thing we might be interested in is a riff or melody. Okay, so for that I would prefer to take the same old or new good known wavetable, and let's open it. I would like to take kind of harmonic wavetable designed for harmonics, and it's this one. I really enjoyed that preset. It's called Buzzball. So let's do that. I could play whatever, but still my capture option works for this. So it still captures things. I always had that opportunity to roll back. It works for now. It works only for MIDI, not as in Logic, but it works all in real time in session view, and Logic doesn't have session view. So actually, you can do that while jamming, even instead of looping. Now let's listen what Echo device gives to us. For me, Echo device, okay, I really enjoy delay when you can visually regulate all those two delays between left and right, and it has different modes, how actually it processes and modulates. But for Echo, for me, the most important and significant, it was Echo's reverb. So let's add reverb. So it might become crazy somehow, but for sound designers, that's exactly what we need. Say I have preset for Echo. I want to separate. As you can see here. Please fix that screen for now because it's important. I'm showing this, and I don't need to be here on the screen. Everyone sees me. So I used Echo as insert, and I would strongly recommend you to understand why we need and how to use Sense actually, because yeah, you need to deal with Sense all the time. It's important to understand what you can get from it. It's awesome. And you always sound better, and you achieve great result quickly when you are into Sense. Return tracks in Ableton, sorry. But for now, and sometimes you really need to use insert. What is a way of removing some frequencies from inserted echo or from inserted effect? You deal like this. You click on your effect, you group it, you create additional chain, which has to be dry one. And this one, it has to be wet one. Right? And what I can do now is just to filter out low frequencies to avoid that correlation, unwanted correlation between those two layers. And actually this balance is dry-wet. Everyone figure out, understands what I just did? Right? The same you can do if you want to be white, like get that white mix, crazy white, deep atmosphere. Usually or frequently people just download third-party plugins, Stereo, Imager, whatever, a million of such plugins. There is no need to do that. You just need to create difference between left and right speaker somehow. And in Ableton, you will just duplicate that layer and create left and right part of it. So that's the idea. For now, I will avoid that. And for now, I would prefer to maybe even to freeze this one. When I just freeze that track, and people frequently are afraid to freeze because I can lose my MIDI, I can lose my setup, I can lose my presets, parameters. No, in Ableton you will lose nothing if you deal correctly. So, as I just frozen that, let me save my project, say on desktop number 1, whatever, we just save that. And that clip should be stored in project folder. Even if I will decide to remove it, I will still keep it in. You just go to your current project, you have that number 1, you create new folder, whatever. I usually call this ideas, right? Now I can move my MIDI clip there, call it whatever I want. I always get my instrument with all presets on it. And now, with calm heart, let's just flatten it. And that's it. So I strongly recommend again to do in a similar manner. You can organize and or create your own system of signs or folders, whatever, but the general approach is pretty useful. You will never get your CPU overloaded like this. You can create crazy arrangements with thousands of different sounds and synthesizer presets, and it still will work. Okay? Yeah, let me do that. I will use again riff, which I created at home. I would prefer to do that. And it's again. I have 2 sounds here in layer, and one of them is actual bell sound. So I mixed wavetable design well with detuned bell sample. I have this layered flavor. I do such things frequently. Let's read it. Flatten it. And let's add harmonies. I would ask, I could ask Rick to play, but there's no need for that. He will play a lot today. Stay calm. So let's just drag in 2 chords here inside in D minor. Again, designed with wavetable. And I would like to freeze them as well here. Those tracks are frozen. What Ableton offers to us? First of all, if I want to edit it quickly, now to make gaps on my clip, all I need to do is to press 0. There is no need to cut it and then disable. Now I can just select my required grid, 0, 0, and so on. Pretty handy while you're editing. Another thing which is awesome up to me is that we can do that clip has to be warped. I prefer to warp in complex mode, but if I want to warp it in arrangement view, look what I can do. So I can stretch it in the arrangement directly, and it works nice. It's awesome somehow. Another cool opportunity is R. We can reverse things quickly here, just with 1 click. Yeah. Yeah. Another thing, which is finally added, is Control-Shift, which allows me to drag material under the fixed clip. So a workflow is way easier, and it feels so nice here. Say I would like to deal with a cappella. I have an a cappella prepared for you today. This one, this basic a cappella. I have third-party plugin here. I also could use Max for Live, by the way, but I prefer this. I have this installed for a long time, so whatever. And I know the scale, and it's enabled, and so obviously that part is out of beat. And I would like, I don't want to use straightly, like to use the same a cappella inside. I need to use that a cappella to generate something new here, something which is not related to original at all. So what we can do, first of all, that first part and reverse. And after reversing things, usually we have to adjust that first transient because everything just moves out of our rhythm. As we have the opportunity of dragging things under the clip, it's not a big problem for now. I just have my mouse lagging somehow. But anyway. So, let's do that. Okay, and the second part. Again, reverse. Let's find out maybe something else in this a cappella. Again, scroll all over the material. What might be offered? Okay, that first part might be transposed somehow. -5, fifths down. And we get the loop. Sorry. And in this manner, you can continue for the whole infinity. Yeah, it's a general like style of dealing with it. You can go even forwards, and you can slice it up. You can apply effects, whatever. I just want to save time and avoid doing that. But huh? Okay, okay. Yeah, I'm finishing here. So another idea is that we can just slice everything down and put those slices in a single drum rack and rearrange it, right? And we do that on a regular basis. The idea is that we can just slice our resampled parts and put it in the single drum rack. First of all, I have that opportunity of slicing via simpler. Works like, hey, I want to slice something. Let's drag it in. Let's slice. Let's make some adjustments, maybe, and slice to drum rack. And I have new drum rack generated here on the push. And then we can just move those slices into the single universal drum rack when we keep all our sounds, or just split and create 3 of those. I will skip that part. Let's open a sketch which we did again a couple of days ago from the desktop. And after we create all those sounds, finished like preparational part, we will go to the drum rack, and I ask Rick to play because I need someone to play, someone's real skills. And that's it. We have this, which is called sound pack. So, it's your turn.
Not sure. We'll give it a warm applause to
It's okay because it's like yeah, it's a sketch. For now, you will see how sketch developed to the complete track in maybe 15 minutes. For now, the last part which I need to do. Thanks. Just like.
Yeah, I just wanted that you guys can hear me anyways. That sometimes with sound design is
Speak here for live stream.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that sometimes in sound design it's cool to slice all the individual parts on the push, and then you can, you know, get started or smoke a joint or do whatever, and then just like mess around with the pads as like a tool to improvise and just like a video game or whatever, and then you sometimes can come up with things that you cannot like figure out in your mind while you're making the track and actually staring at the computer, but you're just like more you know, like making an impact on how you know you can play around and kind of, you know, move the playfulness in the mathematics of sound design. I was just wanted to add.
It's just fun to do. Like you lose yourself here, and yeah, and it's really important because making music has to be fun. Otherwise, music is uncool. It was the function itself, right-clicking that black background in the sampler is called slice to drum rack. Yeah, you can Google it. By the way, Ableton will be released. It's now in beta, but it will be released in 2 days. And right after that, official documentation will appear on Ableton official page. You can Google everything I was mentioning today, and it will be available there. Yeah, for those who want to try today, I suppose to think that beta is available. If you have an Ableton license, you can try to do that. So for me, it's important to show you what's new related to the push with Live 10. Okay. I will try to show you quickly. Also, I will demonstrate you. Can we have push on the screen, please? Yeah. So I will demonstrate you how it looks like when you just want to sketch something. You don't have such awesome musical skills or finger drum skills or keyboard player skills, but you want to come up with something. And push is awesome for doing that as well. So say I came in to the studio or at home. I want to sketch something. How I offer you to deal with it. So let's go browse. We have those collections available here immediately, so I can get all those sound packs I created today. But I prefer to use like basic ones for now. So let's go drum rack, select our beloved 808 core kit, which is like 808. Ancient fixes velocities. And let's go. So I select my kick drum, and here we go. I have basic loop, then double loop. This is called loop selector tool. So I just selected second 2 bars. I duplicated and selected second 2. And here I can add something, say this. So for new Ableton, now you finally can do that. You can duplicate selection and put here. So you can move things within your single clip. Because in Ableton, it still is a single clip. Let's go here, let's duplicate, double that loop. Let's double that loop, and let's add our offbeat. Basic things to do. Double loop again. So you follow the logics, yeah? Now I can. And we had awesome repeat tool, and I can add grooves, I can swing them, usually on push, with push. But again, in new Ableton, it's offered for you to use custom velocities here. You just press layout once again, select velocity, which is like this. Add some hi-hats. You select different velocity and add some accents. Yeah. So it goes up with volume. So now we have that velocity control. Next thing is to create an atmosphere in musical context, because it's just the drums, and I want to go beyond drums. What I do and offer you to do at home gets a context, a sound, record something. It's in a perfect case. If you can't record or you have no time for that, use sample. So add track and instruments, and I have Simpler here. Simpler is awesome device. Browse. Now collections, and let's take let's take a cappella here. Device, I have that a cappella here. Rick just mentioned that we can do such things, right? You can also create intervals, but the thing is that I can slice it out quickly. I would prefer to go inside by pressing Simpler. I would like to go global, remove velocity, reduce how velocity actually affects the sound. Really no effect. I will transpose it down. Now I capture that. I could loop it. Usually I loop that, but I wanted to show you that you can capture. It captures last two bars, but you actually have everything recorded, and now on push you can see notes you recorded. And you can move your selection, of course. So you can get there with live time. Sorry. With push no, but you can do that live. You just select, press enter, and just stretches like you warp audio. Capture always takes last two bars, but keeps everything in that clip. Last 10 minutes, I suppose to think. So 9 or 10 minutes. Yeah, I had that context. Fine. It works nice. Next thing I do usually, I have to figure out what's the scale. I have to figure out what's the root key. I have to understand intervals. So it's perfect time to find our piano, keyboard, electric keyboard. So let's go instrument rack, piano. I think grand piano. Let's take it. Grand piano. Here, I will not explain you how this layout works for now. It will take time. But I see it through. It's actually the white and black keys for now, because I have C major. So white is white. White is what you have white on your computer, on your basic classical keyboard. So I figure out what the root key and try to figure out interval to understand what it's more like major or minor. In this case, we have different options, of course. Like D minor, because it's minor third. Let's select minor third. Yeah, and I can loop this. If you want to jam around and improvise, I suggest you to stay with this view of push when you have all 12 tones available, because then you can slide and improvise. Of course, you need to get somehow in musical theory, but it's really fun to play. Sometimes some guys play push as real piano players. So it sounds not worse than piano, with all expression and details. Okay, so for me, I just need that to get that context, because I want to show you something else. So let's add synthesizer. Yeah, let's add just MIDI track. Browse. I have bass lines, and I have bassy preset here, like typical house type. So again, we have improved the envelope for our operator. If I press layout here, I get here. It's a new view. When you can see location of those notes, and you can figure out what you just played and play actually in real time. You just heard another one, new feature of Ableton. You have three opportunity to select and to switch between three different click sounds, as well as you can regulate the pattern of click. So you can stay with 4/4 measurement, but still listen your click as like it's triplets. So it's like, again, new feature which I forgot to mention. As well as you can say you can export MP3 finally, and some other things which I surely forgot to mention today, but they are there. Say I would like to use step sequencer to do that. We have cool step sequencer in Ableton. Here I go with one pattern, with one bar. Let's act in the manner we deal with our drums. Duplicate clip. Duplicate clip again. Select last one. So it feels like a breeze. If you can compare with something else on the market, it's like others are not even close. More than that, you can sweetly integrate external jar here, and you can resample. And push now allows you to route things via mixer on the fly. So say I have external synthesizer, I hook it in by MIDI, get audio signal back to my audio interface, use special device in Ableton, and then I can, without touching my computer, route signal in manner when I can actually re-record audio on the fly. No need to touch computer in this case. I think that they got the most of the display, fancy display we have here, because here you go, how it looks like. Echo. Device. So echo is shown on your screen. Wavetable, the same thing. And many, many more opportunities. So again, wavetable. All those wavetables which we discussed already, yeah? So you can deal with it on push, on the fly, record. And I think that's enough for today, speaking about new opportunities and features bundled with live. Let's show what we can actually do with it. Yeah, questions? I had a accent enabled when I recorded today. Yeah, if you record with it disabled, it will capture as it is with disabled accent. But you cannot record with accent enabled, and in manner when it recreates velocity plate. It's not like this, but still, yeah, we can. Usually, I edit velocities later on. Yeah, I really enjoy to play with accents enabled. So. Yeah, I didn't mention that. A left-right problem is we have cool opportunity of enabling this, like a split stereo channel. it divides. It gives you opportunity to rebalance left part of your stereo signal and right part independently, if you would like to, of course. And speaking about fixing problem, they re-edited utility. So if you want to mix in mono, you don't need just left or just right. You need left and right to be mixed in mono. You just do it with utility with one click here. That's it. Or you can now you can, let's say, freeze it to get mono. Yeah. Some more questions, guys? Last opportunity, maybe. You can ask me unofficially after event is over, of course. But yeah, good question. No, you can't. They have really awesome set of wavetables, specially designed, and somehow it stands out. So it's not like Serum. You cannot create your own wavetables, but it was designed differently. It has to be different as Serum. That was maybe the idea of making wavetable. So. It was promised to solve that problem. I mean, to solve problem with opening some projects you designed in 10 with Live 9. But all problems with opening 9 to 10, it's impossible. Yeah, everything actually works better. For me, I opened sets created in Live 9, and I got more CPU. And one more important significant thing I forgot to mention, guys. It's stacked groups. So now, finally, we can group and put groups in groups in groups forever. And it's important because maybe it's important to know when I just have something sidechained. It's really popular and important question. I will quickly demonstrate what's up with it. Say I have my drums here, and I have compressor, and I sidechain that track. I don't know what's on it, but let's say I sidechain it, and if I want to freeze it, yeah, this one. If I want to freeze it, it's impossible, because if your track uses something sidechained or sends sidechain to somewhere else, you can freeze it, but it's not a problem because you can group it. You can move that sidechain device on top of the group and freeze your track inside the group, right? It's logical. But it was a problem because if you have groups, like if you have such tracks put it in the group, it was a problem before. For now, it's not a problem at all, right? So it solves a lot for me, that's for sure. Okay, some more questions? Okay, guys, let's thank you for coming. Again, more questions, I'll be here, and let's ask Rick to play for us a bit.
Yeah, hello everyone, my name is Rick Feds. My background is in mostly classical music. I used to be a classical percussionist and later piano player, and then a long history in jazz drumming, session drumming. But for the last few years, this is sort of my main instrument, so to say, because for the drumming, I kind of lacked composition, melody, harmony, like sort of control of it all in a single tool that Push allows me to do. And also with the single touch on the pad, I can control visuals and send visual information with interactivity to even like water fountains, fireworks, DMX lighting, and stuff like that. So yeah, just Dmitry. Thanks again, Dmitry. Asked me to just show you a couple of tracks that I made and we made together. I'll go from some simple but more simple sound design, some old tracks to some newer ones. And yeah, I hope you enjoy.
I said, empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. Water can flow, it can crash. Be water, my friend. Be water, my friend. Be water, my friend. Water, water, my friend. Water, water, my friend. Water, water, my friend. Water, Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. Be water, my 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 friend.
Okay, this is a brand new track. I just finished working on this morning, so don't judge me if I mess around with the pads. Everything is just so new, but I hope I'm gonna do all right.
Have a nice time? I'll say. Jack's awfully handsome. Such a smooth dancer. Mom, how can I tell if... I mean, how did you know when you were in love with Dad?
Oh, I've been in love several times before. I got so I could recognize the symptoms.
Several times?
Mm-hmm. And each time I thought I'd found my Prince Charming. Most people fall in love quite a few times in their lives.
Well then, how can you tell when you're really in love?
Well, I'll have to think about that. Let's save it tomorrow, shall we?
Good night.
Good night, dear.
Most people fall in love quite a few times. I wonder if Jack knows that.
This next track, pretty much, it's not gonna advance in sound design, but this made my sort of career in Ableton, and started me going with Ableton, doing this thing for money. So I hope you enjoy it. Let me turn it just a little bit up, the stereo, so it just pumps it up a little bit more.
It's not to the top from me saying I love you. It wouldn't be to the top if you were saying I know it's very well. I know you like to know my name. I think that I have met you somewhere in the dream. I may never have met you at all. And I know you must be making for the city girl. I know you have the more than she. It's not to the top, 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 it's not to the top of not to the top of me say I love you. It wouldn't be to the top if you would say the same. And believe me when it says that I know you very well. I know you like to know my name. I think that I have met you somewhere in the dream. I may never have met you at all. And I know
I was born when she kissed me. I died when she left me.
I lived a few weeks while she loved you.
I